Dude, I always got to get crab rangoons.
Mm-hmm.
That's always the best. Always got to go there. And if a Chinese restaurant has good pork fried rice, they're a winner. So I got some pork fried rice, and I got beef and broccoli. Dude, let me tell you something. They're doing it right there.
I'm a sweet and sour chicken kind of guy.
Ooh,
sweet and sour chicken, you cannot miss.
Cannot go wrong. What is going on, Houston? This is Jet Boyer here on Athletically Declined. We want to give a special shout out to our sponsors of the stream, our boys at Sold Out here in League City, Texas. Also, want to give a special shout out to the best gym in the Friendswood, League City area, The Sanctuary. If you guys are looking to achieve your fitness goals this year, look no further than The Sanctuary. Also, too, special shout out to Throat Apparel, Tilt. Guys, fit us out. They have got the best shirts here in the local Houston area. You guys want to check them out. All the links are on our website at hlx.com/athletically declined. Appreciate you guys. So, A-Train, our boy Alex, Jet, ESPN 97.5, Athletically Declined. We're back. And it's Thanksgiving week, and you're welcome for this episode during your Thanksgiving. But here's the deal. There's a lot of coach opportunities coming up out, and we wanted to talk about them, talk about where some of these guys could go, and talk about maybe some changes that could be made that aren't being made yet. Some interesting ones on the market.
So right now we've currently got who's open right now.
The Jets are open.
The Jets
completely.
are open, but officially open.
Yeah. Okay. Jets officially open. I'm trying to think who else is officially open. You gotta imagine the Bears are gonna be open.
I think the Bears will be open. I think the Jags will be open.
Yes.
Raiders probably. I think that they're not too happy with what Pierce is doing. I think Cowboys will be open.
Yep.
They're not going to re-sign McCarthy.
Miami could be a wild card.
I think Mike McDaniels is going to get a pass simply because of the Tua injury.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we see what happens whenever Tua is not there. And for some reason, they can't just plug a quarterback into that system. I guess it's too difficult. I imagine the system's too complex. But, I mean, we had old Pro Bowler, what's his name? It was from the Ravens, the backup that was this year.
Oh, Hundley.
Yeah, Tyler Hundley. And he didn't look terrible with the Ravens. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler.
No.
I mean, it obviously wasn't a Pro Bowl season, but he got thrown in there. But I mean, he's been a serviceable backup, and he got thrown in there. If I was a quarterback that had an arm that could throw 40 yards downfield, I'm just launching it down deep every single time to Tyreek.
Yeah.
You got Tyreek and you got Waddle on the outside. Just launch it to him.
You got two good backs.
Yeah. And for some reason, they've just been god-awful.
And also, too, for whatever reason, that defense has not been able to turn it around. You at one point had some studs on that defense. Still, I think that defense for Miami has not been good since Brian Flores left. Hot take.
I think it's the personnel in there and the attitudes that they have, simply because you look at Vic Fangio, who is a renowned defensive coordinator in the league, and he goes there, everyone's hyped up for this defense, and the players are complaining about him, saying, oh, it's his scheme that's messing us up, all this kind of stuff. He goes to Philadelphia, and look at what Philly's defense is doing.
Yeah, you're happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, as an Eagles fan, I love it. But it's just strange that the players, I get that the players are what makes the franchise, but at some point you got to start looking at the players and thinking, maybe y'all are doing something wrong. Maybe y'all should change and listen to a certified defensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. Maybe stop pushing against it and just go with the flow.
Another one that's open we miss is the Saints. Dennis Allen's gone.
Saints, yes. Rizzy's doing a pretty good job out there, though.
Yeah, I know. Do you think that again, we're talking right now open, the Jets and the Saints. Do you feel like that the Saints is a more appealing job than the Jets?
Simply because of the owner, yes.
I would agree. I have a hot take here. I think that Woody Johnson has, in my opinion, since the last report, is the worst owner in football. As a Jets fan, I feel like he's the worst owner in football. So a little bias there, but again, people want to make the comment, well, Jerry's been doing it for years. Yeah, but Jerry's not letting the crap leak out that's gotten leaked out. Like, we know that Jerry, we know that Jerry makes these decisions and does these things, but there's not the documented like evidence that comes out the way that has come out with the Jets. It's unbelievable.
Also, Jerry can at least get his team to a winning record.
100%.
So that's been the thing that's been staving people off from Jerry for a while. Is I think the past 2 or 3 years they've got 12 wins,
and they've been in a tough division. I mean that division is not an easy division to be in. No matter how good the teams are, they all seem to play each other respectably.
20 years since the last back-to-back winner. So, I mean, that should tell you everything you need to go. Also, in that division, the Giants.
That's right.
Is Dayball going to be gone?
He has to be. The only thing I can see that they do give him a pass for is that he did not draft Daniel Jones. So maybe, just maybe, he gets the chance now to draft his own quarterback, and they go, okay, let's see if you could do it. You pick your guy, and I mean, these 3 teams, other than the Saints are they're gonna keep Carr. He's locked into that contract. I mean, between the Jets and the Giants, like they're gonna have high enough draft picks if they can.
Also, I know this is a hot topic among AD. Derek Carr's not as bad of a quarterback as everyone says he is.
Ooh.
I think Derek
Would you like to
Carr.
elaborate?
I think he is serviceable, and probably a little more than serviceable. We saw him at the beginning of the year light it up, and then he had a lull where he got hurt. And the past few weeks, he's been playing like a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Also, in my opinion, Chris Olave is not as good as people want to make him out to be. And I've said that from the very beginning. I've gotten roasted for it, and I just don't. Olave, the year that he came out, the year prior to that, people were saying that he was going to be a top 10 guy. Next year, he ends up coming out, and you've got a star-studded receiving draft that year. I mean, you trying to put Chris Olave in the same conversation with Garrett Wilson, it's absolutely absurd in my opinion.
That rookie year, he did look good, though.
He did look good the rookie year.
So I see where people kind of wanted to go off of that, but he hadn't followed up at all.
No, and I think another thing, too, like you have Kamara back there, but that's it. Kamara and Olave. Olave's been hurt. So, I mean, you got Shaheed there.
And then you got Taysom Hill doing Taysom Hill stuff.
I mean, at what point, too, are they going to finally give up on the Taysom Hill experiment? Again, he's been doing well, but like,
you don't after the last 2 weeks.
I guess not. I mean, I guess he's
also, they got him locked into that contract where it was like $120 million as a quarterback, and then no one ever leaked out what he was going to make if he wasn't a quarterback.
Ooh.
And he hasn't been quarterback enough to be able to make any of that money. So I'm curious to what he's being paid. He may be one of those things that's like he's a service dude and he's a steal right now.
Oh, 100%.
Because, I mean, you can use him as running back, quarterback, wide receiver, fullback, tight end. Any of those positions.
Good blocker.
Yeah.
He's a good blocker.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's dig a little deeper. Who would be, and again, we're talking about the open positions right now, and we'll move into the kind of what ifs. Jets and Saints. Who would you want to see coach those 2 teams?
I think for the Saints, with the firepower you have there, maybe go after somebody like Ben Johnson from the Lions.
You think that he'd want that job?
I think it's appealing. I mean, you've got that division where you've got Tampa, which I like Tampa. We don't really know what they are right now, especially with all the injuries. And then
which sucks.
And then there's contracts coming up that they're going to have to deal with. And then you've got Atlanta, who everyone was high on Atlanta at the beginning of the year. I was one of them. They've looked average the last couple of weeks.
Injuries.
Yeah, injuries as well. But, I mean, they've still got their key people. They still got Drake London. They still got Pitts. They still got, their Bijan. They've still got Kirk. So you've got all the important parts there to make a run, and they just have been underperforming. A lot of people like to blame Arthur Smith last year. And now they've got a new head coach, and the offense is kind of doing the same thing it was doing last year.
Yeah, Raheem Morris.
I mean, they're giving Bijan the ball more, but it's not resulting in wins like everyone thought it would.
No.
So it may just be Atlanta being Atlanta.
Yeah, no.
And then you got the Panthers, which the Panthers are the Panthers. So
yeah, I'm not really. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with Bryce Young.
But the reason I lean that way is just because I think you need to get someone that's offensive minded in there.
Yeah, and I think just overall for the league, I think we're past the point of defensive head coaches being as successful as they used to be. And I don't know if that's because the guys that were getting the jobs like actually were getting good OCs. Um, like I use the Jets as a Jets fan as example, like bringing in Robert Saleh, yeah, good locker room guy, good defense, but like you brought a personnel guy over as your OC. It's never called a play before, and you wanted to develop a first round quarterback. No shot.
So my thought on this situation is the perfect situation to hire someone is you hire an offensive coach. You hire an offensive coach, that way the system stays the same.
Yep.
Because if you're a defensive coach and you hire a good offensive person, they're gone in a year or two.
Yeah.
And then your quarterback's going to have to learn a whole new system. You're going to have to do all kinds of stuff. So if you hire an offensive coach, the system stays. Look at Andy Reid. I mean, his system stayed the same no matter who he's got in there as coordinator.
True.
And he's always been successful.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing to hire a defensive coach. Yes, you get that solid defense over there, but it's the rotation of your offensive coordinator. If they're good, then they're gone.
Right.
They're gone in a year or two. I mean, you see that with Ben Johnson, who I named. Liam Cohen is another one, the Bucs offensive coordinator. Yep. I think he could be a good choice.
Leftwich is another one.
Leftwich, you've got Cliff Kingsbury's out there.
That's my guy.
I love Cliff. I think he's a great offensive coordinator. I don't know if he wants to be a head coach again. I don't blame him. Give him the money and let him play with an offense, and that's it. Don't have to worry about anything else. Do your offensive thing, and I think Cliff would be okay with that for a while. I think eventually he'll want to dip his toes back in there, but as of right now, I think Cliff is perfectly fine with hanging out. Joe Brady's another one out there. That's another offensive guy. And then Brian Johnson over at the Commanders. Most of these people are under 40. So you could have a big thing. The Brian Johnson's the Commanders' assistant head coach, and he's a passing game coordinator, and that offenses look great.
Fantastic, actually.
So those would be my offensive people that I would go for personally, just because you won't have a revolving door at offensive coordinator.
I want to see Cliff Kingsbury in New York. He played for New York. I think it would be a cool thing to have him go back. I think he's exactly what the Jets need. He's a very progressive style offensive coordinator. He knows how to make offenses run well. The problem is, I think at the moment that Bears job comes available, we're going to see them make a hard push to go get Cliff, to go be with Caleb. But as we all know, if you can go get your own guy, and the Jets, I wouldn't put it past them to go try and trade up to get a higher pick. I would love to see him there. And another interesting one, and I want to see your thoughts. Big thing that's been going on this week at the time of recording. Rex Ryan making a massive push to want to get an interview with the Jets. Again, probably the most successful head coach.
I was about to say some of their best years.
I mean, so I became a Jets fan in 2008, the first year of Favre. The following year was Rex Ryan. So I got to see Rex Ryan up in person. There is not a more electric dude on the sideline, a dude that had guys more bought in.
Players love him.
Great defensive guy. I'll go on a limb and say I think he's a better defensive coordinator than Saleh, because those defenses were nasty. And he knew how to hire offensive coordinators. We actually had some pretty decent offensive coordinator. Schottenheimer was one. Like, the Jets' offense ran well. Mark Sanchez wasn't necessarily a world beater by any means, but he was probably a poor man's Kirk Cousins type. And I mean, I'd love to give him a shot and go grab a good offensive coordinator. I don't know who you could go get.
I think especially with his connections now at ESPN that he's made throughout the years.
Oh, for sure.
That could be dangerous. I think he might someone for offensive coordinator / potential head coach that I've always liked that hasn't had a chance yet, but has been emerging in the past couple of years. What's his? Oh my! I'm having a brain fart now. Having a brain fart. Lions quarterback back in the day.
Oh, Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky.
Whoa!
I'm a big Dan Orlovsky believer.
Man,
he throws some. He's an ESPN analyst, so he throws some things out there that are pretty ridiculous. But I think that's, hey Dan, go say something so that we can we can get some clicks on this. But Dan knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Watching him go through the VR quarterback thing that he did the other day was fantastic that Harry Douglas came up with. He is watching him break down film. I'm a McAfee guy. I like the show a lot. And when he comes on there and breaks things down, it makes sense. And everything makes sense. And he knows offenses. I mean, so throw him out there, and him and Rex hang out every day. Him and Rex hang out every day.
Rex,
and I'm sure he would.
Orlovsky, that would be. I don't even care if it was as good as we thought. That would be electric.
But personally, my favorite head coaching candidate, and I think I may just have a man crush on the dude, is Mike Vrabel.
Dude, Vrabel, yeah.
Vrabel got done dirty in Tennessee.
Yes, he did.
Nobody here likes Tennessee, so Vrabel got done dirty in Tennessee, and all he did was win. And the players loved him. He was a hard-nosed coach. He wouldn't back down from anything. I think he would be a good fit somewhere.
What about Vrabel to the Saints? That feels like a match made in heaven. Like Vrabel bringing back that kind of gritty.
I was about to say New Orleans is gritty, and it's perfect for him.
That will be perfect.
That dude's got some zen in his mouth and smoking a heater at the same time. He's a dog, dude.
Bro, now that would be cool. He'd be leading that. Who that? Who that?
I was thinking also I would hate it simply because I think he would make them better. But Belichick to the Cowboys, simply because he would go in there, he wouldn't take any crap. He would shut down all of the childish things that are going on in there with Micah and CD and Trayvon Diggs and all of them. But I think he would be one of the few figures that Jerry would respect and listen to.
Yeah, I agree.
That goes along with Dion as well. I don't want Dion to go to the pros, simply as a selfish reason. I want to be able to root for him, and so if he stays in college, I can root for him. And then one other person from college that I would take that's getting a lot of attention lately is Oregon's own Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning is a hot topic right now, and a lot of people want him to go to the NFL. I pray to God he doesn't, but we'll see what happens. The selfish reason, yes.
Yeah. Alex, also an avid Ducks fan.
Go Ducks.
You know what an interesting connection I also saw was this week there was some rumors circulating that Belichick is interested in the Jaguars job.
I wonder why.
And the weirdest thing that was connected to that was it was depending on who the quarterback was.
Do you know who the quarterback is?
Exactly. And so it makes me wonder, like, is this a situation where they may try and trade Trevor Lawrence? Like, and we're just all thinking, oh, because he got the contract, blah, blah, blah. Like,
he's watching it and he was like, that looks a lot like Mac Jones.
You're right.
I don't want to go there if Mac Jones... And Mac Jones is there.
Yeah.
So you've got two Mac Joneses as your quarterback.
It's really funny, like, that would even be attached to, but that was the report. It was a Bleacher Report. And I mean, that would be, that'd be terrifying for every Texans fan, knowing that Belichick is in that division. But man, I think personally, Belichick to the Cowboys, for a lot of the reasons you said, makes a lot of sense. I think I agree with everything you're saying. But I also think too, like, people forget, like, as good as Belichick was, like, because of Brady, Belichick builds defenses. Like, imagine what Belichick could do with that defense, with Diggs, with Parsons, right? Like, that could be scary, actually making that defense run the way it should. And then, they're going to have a high draft pick because of the way they're playing. Like, that could be freaky.
I think Jacksonville may be out there because he saw the power that they gave Urban Meyer.
It's fair.
And he was like, well, that looks like I could probably run little Duval County down there.
Yeah. And Jacksonville's not a bad place to set up shop either.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people go retire in Florida. He's close to retiring, so.
Yeah, I mean, and then the other one that came up that I also think would be a Belichick spot that might not be on a lot of people's radar, but I think the Raiders could be a spot. And again, we'll see what happens there with Pierce, but I think Belichick going there makes sense. Brady's there. That defense, again, would be filthy in a Belichick system because it's already nasty. Like just and what do we know about Belichick? He loves tight ends. You got 2 great tight ends there.
Yeah, Bowers is world burner right now.
So I mean, there's a lot of spots. The thing is that another one that we haven't even mentioned that could very much come up, and I'm waiting for it to happen. And some Texans fans may be on one side or the other, but Bobby Slowick.
He is out there. There still are rumors about people being interested in him. So that one will be interesting. And I know a lot of Texans fans are praying that he goes and becomes a head coach somewhere so that they can get rid of him.
Yeah. But what if he goes to Jacksonville? That would be crazy.
What if he goes to Jacksonville and just destroys the Texans every year?
That would be, dude, oh my gosh, that would be horrible.
People would be heartbroken in this city.
Oh, yeah. Every person who called for Bobby Slowick's head would be smashing their head up against a wall.
It's an interesting one. You were talking about the Raiders. The Raiders is the spot that I like for Shedeur and Dion.
I agree.
And they've got the Tom Brady connection there where Tom Brady is Shedeur's mentor.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love that. I for one, as you know, I'm kind of our draft guy. I love the draft. I've already been doing some research. I've already kind of got like a preliminary list of quarterbacks in my mind of order. My QB1 just already right now, Cam Ward. I do not think Shedeur's QB1. I think it's Cam Ward, but Shedeur will get drafted he'll be the first quarterback off the board.
I think Cam Ward is more Anthony Richardson. I think he's got some work to do. And I think that Shedeur looks at defenses better. He breaks them down a little bit better. He's got a better deep ball. He may not run as good, but I think that he is further along in the what you want a quarterback to be than Cam Ward's raw potential.
See, I think Cam Ward's mechanics are a lot more polished than what Anthony Richardson is, and I
agree with that. Yes,
and I think that that's a big issue with Richardson. I think also it's an issue like his shoulder problems he had. I think there's something that goes into that. I was watching. Oh my gosh, what's his name? Palmer.
Jesse Palmer.
No, not Jesse Palmer. The other one.
Oh, his brother.
His brother.
Yeah.
Breakdown film, and he was breaking down Cam, and his mechanics are really good. He runs the ball well. I think he reads defense a lot better than people give him credit for. I just think that team is not necessarily have a lot of star-studded receivers on that team.
Whoa. They started the year with 3 Biletnikoff, like potential wide receivers.
Yeah, but Liberty University also started with 2 guys that were on Heisman watch. That don't really mean anything always.
I mean, we already knew that wasn't going to happen.
Listen, don't rub insult to injury on me, please. But shout out Quentin Cooley and Caden Salters. Yikes. But I am the camp that I think that he is everything we wanted Anthony Richardson to be. I just do. I think there is a lot of the issues that Richardson came out with the question marks on him. I don't think Cam has all those question marks. Now,
Cam's played more than 9 games or whatever.
Correct.
Whatever Anthony Richardson played.
I mean, he's playing he's playing good football. The team's playing good football. I think, this is just me, I think there's going to be a lot of the Shedeur getting drafted first have to do with them thinking they can get Dion as well if they do that. That's what I think. I think if you can convince maybe that there's a chance Dion could go coach with his son, that's going to make like a package deal. And I just don't see that. I don't think Dion's leaving. He just got the number 1 quarterback in number two in the class. He flipped from LSU. Like, why would you leave? You're literally growing that program and making it good. I don't even think personally that he would even leave to go to Florida State. I think he
would leave to go to Florida State.
You think he would?
I do.
Really?
Going to coach at his alma mater? I mean,
that's cool.
He loves Florida State.
But he's like, that's the thing for me with college that I don't understand.
Yeah, but he built it at Jackson State, and now he's built it at Colorado, and it's only taken 2 years each time. So why wouldn't you just go to Florida State and be like, yeah, I can get all these Florida boys too? And
you got the transfer portal now.
Yeah.
I mean, all they got to do is jump in there, and then they're home free.
Exactly.
I guess that's fair. But it's going to be interesting, guys. I think if you're a bunch of draft heads like I am, this is going to be a fun year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to see a lot of guys, even in the coaching pool, maybe start circulating. You didn't think we're going to be circulating. I think you're going to see some guys that are moved on from, maybe you don't think. And even with the Giants, don't be surprised if Dayball isn't the head coach and they do go after Shedeur and Dion. Like, there's a world where that happens as well. And I think it's really, really possible.
Dion's one of the few people I think can handle any market.
I agree. I think you would. I think you would. The thing I love about Dion, whether you like him or hate him, he builds with a great personnel. His coaching staffs are always good. And like, yes, most of them are like, coordinators or players and stuff, but that's who you want.
His defensive line coach is Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
Not even a coordinator. He's a defensive line coach.
Yeah. Like, that's
I'd like to learn from one of the best of all time.
And it's enticing to go play for that guy. So, I mean, I think it's going to be fun. Also, shout out, the 6 shirt. Shout out our boys at Freezer Tarps, our boy Chetty, Eli. Man, got some Upper Deckies coming. Shout out Upper Deckies. It's going to be freaking great. Love that. And also shout out to our boys at H-Town Only. Chris is the GOAT. Got a Black Friday sale. And then also, you guys always see the ticker above us. Something really cool. Skybox Sports, Alex, treating the fans, treating the crew great. We got a code 8010, get you 10% off. However, for the remainder of November, and I believe they're extending it a little bit, they're giving our guys an extra 5%. So it is 80-15. You can get 15% off your Skybox Sportsnet ticker. They got a bunch of cool tickers.
Black Friday deals for days.
For days, dude. Y'all want to check that out? Shout out our boys over there at Skybox. Bet Skybox, boys, because they've got all of the major sports books all in one place. You're getting it good. Y'all got to check that out. But, man, it's a good episode.
I think so.
I like it.
Yeah. Pretty solid.
Guys, it's A-Train, Jet Boyer, ESPN, 97.5, live from the 80 studio and sold out. We'll catch you guys on the next one and have a great Turkey Day. You made it till the end of the video. We appreciate you continuing to support us by showing your love and watching the video. If you haven't, please make sure you like the video below so that we know that we did a good job. And if we didn't, there's a comment section for a reason. Let us know what you didn't like, or if you have some suggestions. We are always open to listening to you guys because we are by the fans for the fans. And if you would please do us a favor and go to our YouTube channel at Athletically Declined Sports and hit us a subscribe. You guys can check out all the shows that we have going on during the week. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you all in the next video.